don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special and secret, apparently, episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate's at the controls, making sure everything's running smoothly. We had some issues with technology. That's why we're running a little late, but it's a special episode, so people probably didn't plan on us being here anyways. Tonight's episode, ladies and gentlemen, the 181st episode, it's time to change the tap, Madison County. We're going to be talking about some news that's come out this week. Of course, we're going to be joined here in just a second by our special contributing correspondent, Katherine Callahan. Dr. Callahan from Madison County is going to be on tap, if you will, to talk about the news. She also has some big news from something that she did earlier in the week. We kind of hinted to it in the last couple of episodes where she was on, and she made good on her promise. So we're going to find out what that is. We're going to talk about all of the chaos and insanity that's occurred since last time she was here, which is a lot. And we're going to talk about some big decisions that you guys all have in Madison County. Before we get there, I would ask that you all please rush up there and click the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Look, it costs nothing for you to click that subscription button. We don't send anything to you. We're not going to email you. We're not going to ask you for money. You can give us money if you would like to give us money, but you don't have to do that. We're here and we bring this information to you for free. This is a full-time job. So doing the little things that you could do to help us out. And those little things are, if you are here and you are not a subscriber, please become a subscriber. If you are interested in us going live and being notified when we go live, like for tonight, the people who didn't know that we were going live tonight, they will get a notification just in their YouTube app that we're live. So that's something that you might do. Click that bell. That would allow you to do that. But then share the show with everyone you know. Those little things are what help us grow bigger, and that helps us monetarily and yada, yada, yada. That's what allows us to bring this great content to you all. So, for anybody that's here, that's connected to the police thing and 1186 and all of that, you know, I might poke around with Katherine a little bit later and talk to her about her thoughts on that. But tonight's going to be very Madison County centric, and we're going to be focusing on what's happening there in the community. There's a lot to talk about. So without further ado, before we do that, I do want to remind you that if you click on the social medias, if you follow me on social media, Kristopher H. Bilbrey on Facebook, or Bilbrey 318. That's how you find it, facebook.com, Bilbrey 318. You can find me. My Facebook's wide open, so you can either send me a friend request, invite me, or you can just follow me without doing that. You can also go to the Political Spotlight's Facebook page, which is the Political Spotlight without the, just on Facebook there, facebook.com, Political Spotlight 318. Sorry, I hate that. I hate when the branding doesn't match up, but it was out of my hands. It is what it is. We're obviously on YouTube, Rumble, and X. X is Bilbrey Live. So the Political Spotlight was just too big of an X name. So there were that. Katherine Callahan obviously is on Facebook as well, and she's like me. Her Facebook is wide open, so if you go there, you can see what she's talking about. Oftentimes, I will post in the day leading up to what we're going to be talking about. Katherine does the same. Go to Madison County Accountability's website. What is it called? Madison County Government Accountability. There you get a lot of good stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Katherine Callahan.
Hey. So
what up?
Listen, lots of things going on. I just want everybody to know I appreciate you being on here tonight, because it is a Purdue night in this house, whichever side that's on. So they're playing IU, and I just want you to know that it's Purdue night here. So we'll see. Purdue wasn't playing too good, but we're hoping they'll bring home that win against IU.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I have to say something. Now, a few minutes before I came onto this show, I received a very disturbing text.
Oh, God.
And I would like to share it to the people. So for those who are watching, who are just now showing up, listen, Kevin, it is Purdue at this house tonight. Okay. Now, I used to be an IU person back in the day, but now a lot of my money goes to Purdue. So, all right. So we're going to talk about other things, but I want to share this with everybody, and the arrogance, the level of ego, the fact that this human being is allowed to speak and privately message a female like this absolutely is disgusting. So I want everybody to say you heard it here first. Okay. Now, can anybody guess who this might be from?
Are we guessing before you tell us what it is, or are you going to tell us what it is and then we're guessing?
No. Can anybody guess?
I don't know what she's talking about right now, so this is going to be fun for everybody.
Here's what it is. It's regarding Steve Sumner.
Okay.
Okay. So last night we did a podcast on Steve Sumner's. Those people who are never, thank you for the update. Those people who are never watching our podcasts, I'd like you to bring this up and read this to the people. No, it's not Matthew Hurt. See, I know many of you were watching today on that one. Oh, no, this is even better. You know what, Chris? This may even touch your heart tonight. You may even have a few 4-letter words you want to spout out tonight. Are you starting to guess who it's from, Chris?
Still not. No.
Put that bad thing up and see.
Where am I putting this up from?
It's in your messenger.
Okay.
This message was sent to Jamie Lynn just a little bit ago.
Okay.
And this, I cannot believe, was written to her. Is there any more that they would like to kick her in the gut with? Your leader, Republican chair.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I don't want to put this up. I want to put it up with, hold on. I'm going to take a screenshot of it because I don't want to show who it's from yet.
Oh, they know.
This shows. Are they already guessing?
I think so. But go ahead. Put it up there.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
It is absolutely atrocious.
I only read the first. I only read the first
few minutes. I can't wait
to
hear what Kate has to say about this.
I want to see what this is.
And
Let's see. Here we go.
I didn't even come on here to talk about Sumner's tonight, but I'm so disgusted that somebody would even send this to Jamie Lynn. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay, here we go. Okay, I was just reading this myself. All right, here we go.
Read it to the people.
All right, this is, and it's hard to see because it's on Facebook, but it says, Jamie, please tell me how any local corrupt politicians have helped or ignored Steve escape and run, ? The Grant County judge set bail and its terms, and Special Tippecanoe SP dealt with... Okay. Oh, Tippecanoe. Yeah, I get it. Dealt with the case. What specific office holder helped him? Note, I'm messaging you, not commenting publicly, as not to call you out on that point. And her ridiculous accusation 2 years ago that I visited Steve, who's her, you?
No, this is the DD on the forensic foreplay.
Okay. And her ridiculous accusation 2 years ago that I visited Steve in one of the Dakotas when I vacationed to Mount Rushmore. That was so laughable. If I knew where he was, I would turn him in or drag him in at gunpoint myself. And it's to Jamie from Russ Willis.
So you mean to tell me on a Friday night at 7:32 p.m., she is out right now in the community doing something, that you send her this message? It's so disturbing. I mean, this is why Jamie is so frightened to go out in public. This is why she's so frightened to say anything, because these people are ridiculous.
He's so full of shit.
Right?
You know, Likens bought money. It gave him money.
Yes.
The bond was set ridiculously low for the kind of terms that he,
And when he ran, he had no bond.
Right.
They vacated the first one.
Yeah. They got rid of that. They paid $10,000 for his attorney. That's the county freaking government.
And while he's out vacationing, Jamie Lynn is suffering over here trying to get her family back together. I mean, this is so horrible. Here, made a threat with a gun. Yeah, I mean, this is just craziness. Russ speaks down to everybody he can. I don't know. I wonder, and I don't know if people believe in karma. This man has to have so much karma coming to him. I have no idea.
And they are watching. They watch means huge amounts of guilt. They have to stay ahead of it. Yeah. So real quick, I want to put this out there. So this is obviously in reference to the podcast that you were on last night, Forensic Foreplay or something like that. Right.
That we were talking about Steve Sumner's, and Jamie Lynn was allowed to share her voice, which she's never really been able to do.
Mm-hmm.
And she's scared to death of the backlash.
Well, back up. She's done it on here plenty of times.
I know.
But you mean over there?
Yeah. I mean, to a broader, casting a bigger net.
Yeah. So the thing is, and in all fairness, I have not been able to watch that yet because we were live while you guys were live last night. And I pulled it up to watch it last night after we got off the program. But I got into doing something else, and I still have it pulled up in one of the tabs here. I need to watch it when we're done. And so I don't know anything. I mean, I know obviously the story of Steve Sumner. I understand what we are alleging and what Jamie is alleging and what you are alleging. I understand that point. I don't know what was said last night. I don't know what Dee Dee said, and I don't know what John said, obviously. But obviously this is in reference to something that they said. And what's funny to me about this is what people probably don't realize is Katherine is aware of Russ, and Russ is aware of Katherine, like personally connected to each other, because Katherine was part of an elected office. She was a chief deputy in the coroner's office and yada, yada, yada. She's ran for office. She's had many dealings with Russ. And I've only dealt with him through the political aspect, but Jamie has been very intimately connected with these people. Russ being one of those people.
In her home.
Yeah. She's been in their home. They've been in her home because obviously before Steve was, arrested and on the run, before the incident, before the finding out what had happened, he was a political figure. They were married. They did things together. And she, is intimately connected to all of this. What a lot of people don't know is she worked in the prosecutor's office over there. I mean, she's intimately connected with these people personally, on many levels. So Russ knows Jamie knows Russ. And I just think listen, Russ has a First Amendment right to say whatever he wants to say. He uses that First Amendment right to be the world's biggest jackass lots of different ways. I just had a text conversation with Russ earlier this week. He and I text back and forth for a little bit, and it was like comical. It was very strange. But Russ is an arrogant asshole. I mean, that's who he is. That's what he lives his life. Like, he strives to be that way. He thinks it's funny. At the end of our conversation, we traded pleasantries. Have a nice night. Be safe. Whatever. And, talked about having to poke the bear and have fun. It was just, he's an odd person, but he strives to be this asshole. And so this does not surprise me in the least. This seems just like par for the course for Russ. And it's gross. I mean, it just shows you how arrogant that they are, because take any allegation that's been made away, and any, because we don't know where Steve is and we don't know what's happening. We're all just guessing based off of hardcore fact. The fact is the Lycans were giving him money, and she has that in bank records.
So I want to help everybody just a step further. A couple of months ago, Russ took it upon himself to message Jamie. I just sent you those messages. Now read these. I don't think the Lycans were the only ones giving money, but I'm going to let you guys interpret this in the comments, and we're just going to read it, and then you tell me what you think of this one.
Okay. So this is kind of an ongoing thing. He sent this, but a couple months ago he also sent other messages. So this is the other messages. So this says, this was from November 9th, 2024 at 1:12 p.m. I don't understand the attacks from you after the assistance, cash, vehicles, etc. we provided to you over the years. Is that cool? Is that Kool-Aid so good that you swallow all of the half-truths and fabricated lies? Do you forget who you called multiple times to vent to and ask for advice when he was first charged? I made calls to help get him away from watching you from Dad's house next door. That wasn't my fault. That was his. I have been on your side in this, and this is the thanks I get. He literally thinks that Jamie needs to be thanking him.
Yeah.
Okay. If I knew where he was, I'd turn him in a moment. I have spoken to him once since it came down. I passed him in an aisle at Payless. When was this?
That's what I mean. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. He spoke first. I said hi and kept walking. I know you are beyond angry and want to lash out, but at me? Why? This is nuts. What vehicles and what cash are you referring to? She asks Russ. Russ says, when he first quit fire department, cash for groceries. Maybe he didn't tell you to appear he was providing. Rental car for Florida trip, probably other stuff, but I've slept since then. Not tooting our horn, just facts. Take care. I've always wondered why you never reached out to check on me and the kids. I saw you were getting along okay. Delicate situation, and I felt you would call as you had earlier on if you needed anything. You appeared to recover well and move on. I knew you were a strong woman and would come out the other side of this stronger. I certainly didn't want to be seen as meddling. until I wanted to meddle.
Until I stick my nose in the middle of shit that doesn't really,
until I actually start
because
meddling.
I'm just right now playing CYA and pretending I give a fuck.
Yeah. Russ is a weird
that sure
character.
sounds like he was handing him money.
Well, it does. And how do we know that he wasn't stashing that money? Because Jamie Lynn never knew anything about any of these monies or these cars. How do we know he didn't provide him with the car to get out of town with? Nobody knows.
Let me provide
and she's working too. So he tells them that he needs money for groceries.
That's what I mean. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And like Kevin Fentner said, this just shows guilt. What's even here? Russ, I know you're watching. Why haven't you shared the award money? Why haven't you shared the reward money? Why haven't you made the Herald Bulletin put this on the front page of the paper?
You know what? To hell with the award. To hell with the thing that we made. Share the Marshall's one.
That's what I mean.
If you don't want to give Katherine or look like you're trying to, do anything to give any light to Katherine or share anything that's got the political spotlight on the bottom of it, great. Cut that crap off. Share the Marshall's one. Why are to me, it seems like you would be doing anything because this Mars, you know what people from other places, when they hear this, think? The first thing they say? They say a couple of things. Conservative people say, man, and there's another one there, that gives us a black eye. People who aren't in politics say, look, there's an elected official doing what elected officials do. Some people say there's a preacher doing what preachers do. Some people say, oh, he was a fireman. Yep, there's public safety doing what public safety. So, but this gives everybody a bad name, including the Republicans in Madison County, including elected officials. People outside of it just say, because that's what people think is everybody's corrupt and dirty because 90% of them are. And so that's what they think. So you would think that they would want to stand up and show, look, we don't condone this at all. We're trying to find him. Let's bring him home. Instead of saying like, look, Russ is a pipsqueak who's afraid of his own shadow. And it's easy for him to talk big and bad when he's in the DMs of a victim. I would drag him home with a gunpoint myself. I don't know if Russ knows which way to point the gun, to be honest with you.
Now,
but
I'm gonna share a little bit more this week. Russ was in the courthouse this week, and evidently, at some point, there is a child custody battle, and this was asked to me to be shared by one of the parents. So I don't want anybody on here to think that I had no idea this was going on. And Russ came into the courtroom, paid the attorneys up. Of course, he's got Kyle Noon who's representing him. So Kyle's in there, and I forget what judge was in there. Anyways, these people have 2 children together. The new stepfather wants to adopt one of the children, but doesn't want to adopt the other child. Are you guys nuts? Like, that's not even good, healthy for the children.
That's
and
weird.
So, yeah, and I guess it just was such turmoil. There's a whole lot more to that. And, but Russ is just an awful person. And I'm telling you, people, anybody Russ endorses, you better run the other direction. I mean, look how much he endorsed Steve Sumner's. I mean, you don't understand. I mean, he's just not a good person. So wouldn't Steve's parents want their son to return home? Here's the thing. His parents believe that he's innocent. He didn't do any of this. Of course they want him to return home. Come to find out, Steve's brother owns some church over by Chesterfield or Middletown, or I don't know. He owns some church over there. They own some computer repair shop. I mean, it seems like he's got some pretty good, ways ins and out. I mean, It was Judge Dudley that was in there. I mean, this is the thing. And I will tell you, there's no way I would have any case with Russ in Madison County. That would have to be moved out of the county so quickly because you'll never get a fair trial with Russ. And almost every judge should have excused themselves or recused themselves from anything that has to do with Russ or his family because they're all intertwined. I don't even know that could be a fair hearing because he's the one always pulling the strings for them to get elected. I don't know. And this is what's so corrupt about Madison County. It's just very corrupt. And so I just kind of wanted to put out here that my heart goes out to Jamie Lynn because you got someone like Russ who's just constantly browbeating her. If she speaks out, boy, she's going to get a lecture from Papa Bear. Boy, he's going to just make sure she's in check. Well, that's not how this works, Russ. You're not checking any of us anymore.
Weird. That's just so weird. It's so strange.
Yeah, and why he would message her like that, I have no idea. I mean, he's so verbally abusive. It's sickening. So, anyways, that's what I had no plans on doing that. I just thought we wanted to bring that up. Russ, you're watching. I got your message, and everybody else has got it too. Now, here's a couple things. We've got a huge opportunity here to break the chains in Madison County. Okay, a huge opportunity. So, Kelly Willis is Russ's daughter. Kelly Hewer has announced.
Might as well be his daughter too.
Well, yeah, they're a little weird the way they're together, And so, Kelly has put out there that she's going to run for the county chair and that she's the best and most qualified person. Well, after I was done vomiting, because Kelly's a chameleon. Kelly is just as evil as Russ. She just has a vagina. I'm just going to tell you, okay? But there is nothing good about Kelly Hewer. She will cry to your face. She will tell you how she's the victim. She will tell you anything you want to hear. And then she will turn around and she will stab you right in the back. I will say for the most part, Russ, he'll just stab you right in the front. Kelly, she'll stab you in the back. So I just want people to understand she has been groomed. She professes her loyalty to Russ by telling everybody he's been her mentor for the last decade or so. You're kidding me, right?
Nuts.
What we've been fighting is Russ Willis. Now, here's the latest that I heard. Now, this is all hearsay. So what I'm getting ready to say right now is hearsay. The word on the street is the reason why they didn't charge Russ for canvassing and they didn't charge Russ for the election crimes of the finances is because a plea deal was made that if he would promise never to run again, that they would not charge him. Now
they're gonna say it was them. He said this. He said this in the article.
So I just want you guys to know that I could believe that. I mean, I don't think it's too far-fetched.
No.
But what the deal they made was, let's bring Kelly in so you can still pull all the strings. You can still keep everything in check. Because Kelly's going to do anything he says.
Well,
Kelly's not going to go against him.
And so I want to just clear that up real quick. When you're saying plea deal, it's not like an actual plea deal that goes before.
It was a wink.
It's a wink and a nod and a handshake and, I'll cut your hand, you cut mine.
Me. Yeah.
That's what it is. And that happens all the time. And for people to think or say that doesn't happen, they're wrong. That happens all the time. And as long as he's willing to say that, and I'll even take it a step further because you've heard that around. I don't know where I don't know if I heard this from you or I heard it from somebody that he is, I don't know who told me this, when he is gone as chair, he's going to be gone as chair, but he's still going to remain on the election board. And so what?
Kelly wins.
Yeah. If Kelly wins, he's going to stay on the election board. And so, man, I mean, nothing changes.
Right.
That's like having a figurehead in his chair. We used to do that in Delaware County all the time. Phil Nichols was a chairman through the 90s of the Democrat Party. And then quickly after that, he wasn't a chairman anymore. Dennis Tyler was a chairman. Alec Craycraft was a chairman. We've had all these people that were chairman, but everybody knew they were not pulling the strings. Phil Nichols was pulling the strings. He had an office at Democrat headquarters still, but he wasn't anywhere part of it. Matter of fact, Democrat headquarters was in his building that he provided because of the club that he was in, the Chanticleer Club. And so they were in his area. It's just like saying, yeah, you have your club in my house, but I'm not involved. So if Kelly were to be the chairman, nothing changes, but he's still made good on his wink and a nod and a handshake to the judge and prosecutor, and everything else is good.
And I want you people to understand how close they are. They go on cruises together. They rent homes together. I mean, you are talking about a mini Russ, people. Here's the thing. We have had 4 election board hearings. Okay. Kelly is the vice. Now, I don't know about you, but Russ put a Democrat chair in a Republican seat to represent the Republicans in an election board. Now, that's illegal. You can't do that. It's against the law. There is an Indiana code that says you have to put another Republican in there. A Republican chair cannot put a Democrat into a seat to represent the Republicans. And it was the chair. And neither chair party had a problem with this.
Yeah, there was like, oh, okay. No, I mean, nobody said anything. We said it. But
this is craziness.
Yeah.
And so I just want people to understand that this is a uniparty in Madison County. You know, and if Kelly was anything for the people, she would have been at these election boards. She would have sat in for Russ. But what they wanted to do is they wanted to put her over here on the side, let things calm down because it was so chaotic, not put her, together with Russ so that people wouldn't think they were one. Let me tell you something about Kelly Hewer. For some of you who were involved in the primary, there was a flyer that went out about me. Kelly Hewer is out, and she must have been behind me because, you go to the poll sites, you put your signs up for the next night. And, so sometimes you keep running into the same candidates. Sometimes you don't. She is out running around telling the other candidates, please tell Katherine I had nothing to do with that flyer. Well, what do you care? I mean, so you're trying to run interference right now that you didn't have anything to do with that flyer. Are you kidding me, Kelly? You had everything to do with that. You know why? Because your husband's part of the Lincoln Club, you nimwit.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the fact, I can't stand it when people lie. Own your crap.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just own it. And so other people, and I want you people to also understand. So Pete Hewer has never been able to get himself elected into anything. Never. He's always been caucused in. You know how they do the caucuses. Well, here's the thing. He is about 18 months shy for having that 8-year term so he can get like a retirement thing from it or whatever. Yeah, so they're trying to get him that seat for 18 more months.
Mm-hmm.
And so what do you think she's doing? I mean, everything is calculated. Kelly Hewer used to be the administrator on Russ Willis's political page where he's kicked out so many people, right? And anytime Russ sees that I'm posting, a screenshot from one of his pages, he purges a bunch of people from
I love that
his Facebook page because he doesn't know who is the troll or the mole,
Yeah.
And so this is what becomes just so hilarious with Russ. Listen, Russ and Kelly, your people don't like you. Okay? They just don't like you. They know that you have destroyed the Republican Party with your nasty culture. It's awful.
It's like all the mob movies. You know when you watch The Sopranos and like Tony Soprano's the boss and everybody's scared of him and everybody like does his dirty deeds and and they do all of that. But then, when it shows you, like, when they're away from him, they're all like plotting to kill him or plotting what happens when he's going to be taken out, or, they're cussing him and they're talking about what a fat ass he is and all this stuff. That's what making jokes. That's what it's like. I mean, when you've got something like this, you're nice to them and you're doing what they're saying, but then you don't really like the person, and they all understand if Russ Willis has befalls a misfortune, if he leaves, if he gets arrested and charged and found guilty or whatever, then it all just helps them. So it's not like they have they're loyal to him because they have to be. They don't care about him. They know who he is. Listen, they know all the dirt that he's done. You know what I mean? So, like, they know everything that we're saying. They just stand to inherit good things by doing that bad dirt too. So right. There's no loyalty.
Yeah. To address Carrie's comment, isn't Kelly's husband one of the mayors? Right. That was before Broderick. I believe he was a chief deputy mayor in Anderson for quite some time.
He's been all kinds of things.
Yeah. Everything he's touched, he has completely ruined.
Yeah.
If you listen to Pete get up and he'll tell you his history, he'll tell you how many jobs he's been fired.
I've been fired from everything.
It's the most ridiculous thing, I think. And you people would vote for something like this. Well, clearly the county was listening and they didn't vote for him when he ran, because he ran with Gail and Emery. And Mikhail Vaughn beat him out.
Yeah.
Now that was funny.
Yeah.
And so, these are the things that I want. Okay, here's another thing I want you to know about Kelly Hewer. So Kelly Hewer does not have the guts to do the right thing. So Kelly and Connie Gardner were in charge of the fair booth, Madison County fair booth, for the Republican Party in Madison County this past summer. Well, Nicole and I agreed to sign up, and we were like, hey, we'll work the booth. It's a Friday night. So we were going to give up our Friday night and go up there. I think I'm a pretty good draw. I think I get a good crowd, right? So that afternoon on Friday, because Beckwith was there the night before. So they had to run because they needed Beckwith there the night before. So we get this message because we start inquiring, like, well, what time do you need us to be there? What do you need us to do? And about noon, Kelly is like, we are not going to have the booth. We've decided to shut down early because it's not very busy on Friday and Saturday. Now, I don't know about any of you people, if you've ever been to a fair, but Friday and Saturday nights, they're pretty busy.
And that's the fair. That's the busiest night.
Right?
That's
and here's
nuts.
The thing. You got a lot of young people. That's the best time to start getting an 18 and 19-year-olds registered to vote. And these people are this is how corrupt they are. Instead of being truthful, you just shut down the fair booth because you believe that, oh my gosh, Catherine and Nicole could represent the Republican Party. Maybe we could represent the Republican Party that's actually true, transparent, and worth something, as opposed to you dark, dishonest, self-serving yourself people. I don't know, but I just want people to understand this is how bad it is. I mean, I can show you texts from Kelly Hewer. I can show you how two-faced she is. And, well, we started off the text with Russ, so we don't have to go any further with that. So I want people to understand, I am tired of hearing myself on social media. I am tired of coming on to the spotlight and talking about negative Russ Willis. We are almost to the finish line. We are so close to the finish line. Now we just have to get it done. So we have to eliminate Kelly Hewer. We have to eliminate Russ.
Politically speaking.
Yes. Connie Gardner has to go with them. They all have to go sit in a corner somewhere. I don't care where they sit in that corner. Connie Gardner has to go, and Rob Steele has to go. That is who are the four that are in charge right now for the Republican Party.
Who?
All of them
Steele
must go.
Yeah.
So with that being known, it appears that Lisa Rinker is going to run for chair, and then Dr. John Ackerman is going to run for vice chair, who's a retired professor. He's been very involved. He's very involved with the Lincoln Tea Party. If you do not follow John Ackerman on Facebook, you should. He puts out some of the most witty stuff you've ever seen. He's very good about that. And so, they're good candidates. They want to bring unity back to the party. They want to bring some peace back to the party. They want to get back to serving the people. They want to be transparent. They want the people to be able to see, everything. They don't want to hide anything. I've gotten lots of inquiries today because I've told people, go out, talk to your precinct committeemen, talk to your vice PCs, do those kind of things so that we can secure the vote for Lisa and for John. I don't know if there's other people who are going to be running. This is Lisa. She only lost by 90 votes. That's her husband.
Lisa, that's not Lisa and John.
It's Lisa's husband, John, but that's not John Ackerman.
Yeah.
Just so people know.
Yeah.
And so Lisa lost by 90 votes. I'm not so sure she lost now that we've watched the testing of the elections and that ballots might not have been forced or thrown out. I'm very unsure about that. So we're going to see that. They're still going to need a secretary. They're still going to need a treasurer. And here's the thing. What people need to understand is because there's other people who want to run for chair. Now, other people can run for chair. This isn't like, hey, we've have these people. This is all we're going to do. What I want you to understand is if we end up getting 5 people to run for chair, we are going to water down the number of votes and potentially not be able to take over that seat because Russ's people may be able to outvote him if we do that. So this is one of those things. If you want to be involved, I go for secretary, go for treasurer, but we've got to keep the top 2 numbers pretty narrow in order to take all the votes that we need from Russ in order to win this. I want people to understand something. None of us can get a copy of the precinct committeeman sheet. Okay. It's supposed to be on file down at the State House. When I caucused, I wasn't able to get it. And I had to go through all these hoops, got it just within, a day or 2 of the caucus. He gave it to, the other person running for caucus, and I'm not going to run him through the mud. So I'm not going to say his name, but the bottom line is Russ has this guarded. Well, let me tell you what's happening with these precinct committeemen. Okay. So say that Kristopher and I are married. Okay. And we're in the same county. So Chris is in Elwood. Okay. And Chris says, hey, I'm going to make you my vice PC, which makes sense, right? Now, if you are an elected person and you want a vice PC, that PC has to be in your precinct. Okay. As an elected official, you take as your vice PC has to be in your precinct. Okay. There are people who have done this. Well, Russ doesn't like Kristopher. So he decides Kristopher will never know. He takes me out of the vice PC and he takes somebody down at Pendleton and puts it as Chris's vice PC, saying that Chris didn't meet the timeline to get the name in. Now, this is actually happening right now in Madison County. We've got 2 cases that we know of that are happening right now in Madison County. There's probably more, but we can't get our hands on the 224 people that are on this list. And so what I'm telling you people is, do you think for 1 minute the person in Pendleton has any clue of what the needs up in Elwood are? But a Republican chair has that power. They can put anybody they want anywhere in the county into those seats. So here's a good one. Quite often, Rob Steele, he doesn't run for PC because there's always all these open seats.
Yeah,
so Rob will be in Lapel, but Russ will assign him up in Summitville. Listen, Rob doesn't do anything down in Lapel. You think he's going to do something up in Summitville? I mean, Lapel's firehouse is bankrupt. Rob Steele sits on the county council. He knows there's public safety lit money to save that firehouse and doesn't say a word. Rob Steele's got to go in 26.
Yeah.
So this is if you understand all the moving parts, this is how corrupt this elected party is. Kelly Hewer is fully aware of the manipulation of the PC Excel spreadsheet. She's not doing anything to rectify this or do what's right for the people. I'm telling you, we are getting nothing with Kelly Hewer. She's got to go. So people are also asking me, how do I find out what my precinct is? Well, you go to voter registration and you just look for your voting status on the computer.
Look, let's make this easy. You go to www.indianavoters with an S, indianavoters with an S.com. www.indianavoters.com. Matter of fact, I don't normally do it this early, but you can go there right now. If you're not registered to vote, you can register to vote right now. And
you want to show them what it looks like?
Yeah, let's do that.
And I encourage people, listen, you can register people to vote from your phone in less than 90 seconds if they just have their driver's license or some form of ID with a number on it. And so you're out, you run into somebody, you start saying, hey, are you registered to vote? Register them right there on your phone. And then that's the biggest thing you can do. So you can go in here.
Here we go.
And so I would check your voting.
The thing is running at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. And so you go into check the voting status.
Here's your voter portal. So if you're not registered to vote, you would go here to register to vote. It's easy and only takes a few steps. Apply now. Look. So here's what you've got to do. See this? Upcoming election is Tuesday, May 5th, 2026. So we've got a long time. The deadline to register, and this is what's bad about this. The deadline to register, meaning the cutoff point to register for this Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, is April 6th, which is also a Tuesday. No, it's a Monday. Monday, April 6th, 2026 at 11:59. I'll speak this 1,000 times between now and then, 2,000 times. And there will still be somebody that calls me on Tuesday, May 5th, 2026, and says, how do I get registered to vote? And I'll be like, well, call me after the election. I'll help you sign up for the general. But it always happens. So you've got time. Don't delay. Just go ahead and do it today.
Listen to me. I am going to call Bree out.
Oh, my God.
Listen, this was such a nightmare with Bree in registration. She did everything right. She did it well before the 30 days. And even up to the day of election, she could not vote because for whatever reason, Russ would not make it right. Heather would not make it right. Heather hung up the phone on Bree and wouldn't make it right. So we had to take Bree up to the polls, and Rebecca Crooms had to get a special form so that she could vote.
It's a pain in the ass.
It was such chaos. It was unbelievable.
So the point here is you need to do it well early so you can keep checking it, because if you file today and you check next month and you're not registered, you've got plenty of time to call and bitch and get it straightened out. But if you file on March 23rd of 2026, and you're like, I've got weeks, until the deadline, everything's okay. You register, and then you find out you're not registered because some dumbass up there doesn't like new people being registered because they, are friends with Catherine or listen to the Political Spotlight, and people are like, oh, you're being, that's wrong. Or tell them, okay, figure out another reason that shit like this always happens.
Well,
maybe they're just Horrible.
We had to go find Teresa Smock, who's like, no, she just got to fill out this form. We're going to get her to vote. She clearly has done everything right, and we'll worry about this tomorrow, but let's get her voted for right now. I mean, this is how crazy it is that we can't get fair elections in Madison County. If we do not get these people out, right here, print the confirmation page, because if you don't get in the system and can prove, we can't get you in. I mean, this is the whole thing. So register to vote. And then do you want to show them how you can check your voter registration? So if you check your voter registration, people, it will tell you what your precinct is. But if it's close to election, if you go in there, it will also tell you everybody who's on your ballot. So if you're unsure and you want to research somebody, you can go through that, and you can go through and research your candidates so you know what to do as well. So there's lots of stuff still to do, but you do need to talk to your precinct committeemen. You need to talk to your vice PCs. Most of the time it's a husband and wife team. And I'm going to tell you something. If Kelly gets in there and your PC and vice just told you that they weren't going to vote for them and they get in, now you know how deep these tentacles go. Russ is going to do everything he can to keep his tentacles in the middle of all of this. Every bit of it. Kelly will only be a face. That is all she will.
Yeah. So this says check your voting status, check your registration record. So you type in your name here, and I'm gonna put this down here so I don't dox myself real quick. I'll put it back up. Let me enter this stuff real quick here.
You put in your date of birth. Chris is older than me, so it's okay.
That's true.
That is not true. You're 10 years younger than me. I'm old.
Okay. Man, I wish I had that thing on here that would block that out. So basically what happens is, screw it. So it pops up and does this, and then you click on there if that's you, and you click there. Now let me come block this real quick and make sure there's nothing.
I have the double authenticator.
Shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like it either, but I just don't trust Russ and those guys, so I just put the double authenticator in there.
Let me see here. Man, I don't want to show that. I know, it don't matter. So here we are. This is my registration thing. It shows me where I'm at. Shows me what the deal is. It shows you. And then what you can do is, after it shows you, look, welcome, you're active. And as long as it says you're active up there, you should be good. Print the stuff off. But then what it does is down here, it shows you the township, and it shows you your precinct. Okay. And then it gives you up here election day voting. It shows you all this. Who's on the ballot. It gives you your absentee ballot information, and it shows you all of this stuff. So it shows you election.
Well, what it doesn't show you is your precinct committee.
It does not show you. Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you go to my page, I've been posting all the elected precincts for Madison County. I do have that in my post that I've been attaching it to. Then you match up your post. So I do have that on several of my posts. I've been adding the precinct committeemen who were elected in their position. If it's empty, it means that Russ is going to put somebody in that position.
Yeah.
So I want people to understand all that. So my big thing is we've got to get out there. We've got to talk. You got to share on social media. We've just got to do all of that in order to get where we need to go. So I'm going to send you this in Messenger, and let's see if we can bring this up. Let me see here. Messenger. So if we bring this up, we're going to talk about a little bit about what we're getting ready to face in Madison County. This is an article that the Herald Bulletin put out. They've pretty much already awarded that seat to Kelly Hewer. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. why they would write an article this way, it just blows my mind.
I mean, it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly's an epic
crazy.
failure, and we'll be putting out all her failures here in the near future.
It's so crazy, man. What?
You know, I got a message today. I didn't know that Pete and Kelly were into rental homes, but people are like, they are the biggest slumlords you've ever seen. And so that was very interesting. I had no idea. So if she's going to treat her renters that way, she certainly isn't going to treat the community members any better. You know, I mean, that's the whole thing.
I've carried on lots and lots and lots of conversations with Pete Hewer over the years.
Was he sober?
Some of those times.
Yeah.
Some of those times, not all of those times. And the thing
right
is,
there, Kevin, right there, buddy. That is Purdue right there. Anybody know the score?
What up, Sean? The thing is, Pete is he's such a weird person.
Yeah.
He's like he addresses.
Very strange. Kevin's going to go out there and knock on some doors and take some pictures of these slumlords.
Okay, so this article.
Oh, Purdue 72-75. Well, let's see how much time's left, Tim. So, yeah. So this article came out in the paper. New leadership on tap.
On tap.
Okay, I want you to know what's wrong with this headline. If Kelly Hewer gets that seat, it's the same leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. A
minute and a half left.
Kate, all right, hold on here. Let me do a couple of things here, just really brief.
I can read it. Do you want me to read it?
So, can you read it?
So, here's there will be a change in leadership within the Madison County Republican Party this year. After 12 years as chairman of the local party, Russ Willis announced Wednesday he would not seek a fourth term. Kelly Hewer, who has been vice chairwoman since 2021, has announced she is seeking to take over the reins of the party. She has the support of Willis to take over the leadership role. For over 20 years, I've worked with Republican campaigns that have won local, state, and national races, Hewer said in making her announcement. My vast experience in grassroots organizing, political fundraising, event planning, and relationship building makes me the more qualified candidate for chairwoman. The Republican Party, she's more qualified how?
Then who?
Exactly.
She don't even know who she's running against.
Exactly. The Republican Party precinct committeemen and vice precinct committeemen will gather on March 1st to elect the leadership team, which will include secretary and treasurer. Willis, 72, said he wants to spend more time with his family. He has been active in the party for 43 years, starting as precinct committeeman, campaign manager for several candidates, and party chairman. I've seen the Republican straight ticket voting increase to 5 times the number of 10 years ago. Willis said, Republicans have won every county office in the last 2 elections. Willis said when he was elected to a third term in 2021, he would not seek another term. Where did he say that? My life schedule has totally revolved around political deadlines, activities, and events for the last 12 years. He said, it's time for a life direction change, because if I stay in this, people will expose all the cheating, lying, and stealing I've done. Willis said he was not stepping away because of the comments on social media in recent years. You're welcome, Russ. Though vocal, they are not the mainstream Republicans. He said, they are not the reason for my stepping away from the chairmanship, but they will claim it is. No, I think your backdoor deals of you not going to jail is the reason why you're stepping down. I win the issues with those few in debate, in accusations, but most of all at the ballot box, Willis said.
Wait,
really?
back up. Read that again.
I win the issues with those few in debate, in accusations, but most of all at the ballot box, Willis said. You do, Russ? Because I think the prosecutor found you guilty. I think your election board found you guilty of finance stuff. I'm not sure what you're winning. I mean, he literally is mentally as bad as Biden. I mean, he lives in a different world up there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's whatever.
76-75 Purdue. That's a nail quencher there. Okay. So he said he intends to remain involved in helping some campaigns in the future. That means all he can get his hands on. Hewer said the local Republican Party has maintained consistently high margins of victory in county and statewide races. My goal is to continue to build upon the momentum of electing Republicans to office while being a unifying leader who is open and accessible, she said. Hewer said she wants to energize young Republicans, modernize communications, facilitate training for candidates and precinct workers, fundraising, and open a brick and mortar party headquarters. She served 2 terms as party secretary and is currently the secretary of the 5th Congressional District of the state party. Hewer is a graduate of Ball State University, Bowen Institute for Political Participation, and the Richard G. Lugar Excellence in Public Services. Now, let me tell you something. Kelly Hewer had this much to do, with the coroner race. She had this much to do with the sheriff's race. Both of those were won by themselves. Bethany Keller's another one. She didn't do much for Bethany Keller. She wasn't helpful with that. Jody Norrick's another one. She wasn't helpful with that. Listen, Kelly Hewer is part of the swamp that needs to be drained. You know, there is nothing that Kelly says that you should ever believe. All she has learned to do is lie with a smile on her face.
Yeah.
She wouldn't let me in on the Facebook pages that they have. She wouldn't let us work the Republican booths. And they pretty much say, you know, anybody who doesn't believe in our rules and drinks the purple Kool-Aid, you don't get to be part of the Republican Party. These are 2 nasty people.
I have a question. Is this front page above the fold?
Oh, absolutely it is. Absolutely. It is
Front
a headliner story.
Now, will they be publishing anybody else who announces that they intend to run?
That will probably be buried somewhere or be all the way at the bottom of the page. I would imagine they will not do it. And it'll be buried inside the paper if they do anything at all.
That's crazy.
Listen, how many days ago did we post that reward money? They've never ran an article or anything on Steve Sumner's at all. That tells you how deep this child sex trafficking and all this is going on in Madison County. That's how deep this is. That's why they don't want him found. So, you know, there's lots of problems with this whole thing. And Russ's life schedule, he has no life. He has none. So I don't want to hear it. You're welcome. And you know, we're almost to the finish line. I hope we can bring home this last bit and this whole party gets, you know, reunited with strength, honesty, transparency, and some integrity. Because these people are just bad people. She, you know, you should have opened her mouth open as she's drinking the water. That's what you should have done, because that's about how she is.
Yeah.
So I just want you guys all to know that she has the support of Willis to take over the leadership role. Right there spells and smells corruption.
Yeah, right. I mean,
so that's the story on Kelly Hewer. There'll be more coming out about Kelly Hewer. So everybody needs to stay tuned, but that is one horrible human being.
It's just the same thing. Listen, and people are like, hey, what do you mean they don't like people that don't like things? Listen, it's a different county, Delaware County, but it all works the same. There was the vice president of the Delaware County Party, Jessica Piper, met with a candidate, a woman that was running for candidate and had ran for office a couple times, or at the time had only ran once. And they met at Olive Garden, and they were sitting down and having a talk because they were talking woman to woman about what their issues were. Why the vice president just didn't seem to like this candidate. And the vice president said, essentially, no, I don't want to make it seem like I'm saying this. She specifically said, we have worked really hard to create an image for the Republican Party of like-minded individuals, and we work really hard to maintain that. And we're not big on letting others in that don't share,
that don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, don't share our way of thinking. They don't act the same. They don't look the same. They don't think the same. Now, could you imagine saying that? Literally, like, imagine if the woman sitting across from her was black or Asian or Native American. Like, what? It I guess was no big deal because it was two white women. But to think, she was literally telling this other person, you don't think the same way that I think, so we don't want you in the party. That is nuts. And
Russ Willis can't stand if you're female.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Can't stand if you're a minority. And by golly, have some initials by your name, and he really has a meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's so disgusting to watch how disrespectful Russ is to my nursing degrees when one of his daughters is a nurse.
Yeah.
That's how disgusting that is.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, people. What I want you to take away from that entire message I just sent to you. Russ is the Republican chair. Kelly is the vice chair. Both of them were interviewed. They both could have announced at that very moment what time the party was going to take place, what day, what time, and where that vote was going to happen at, to give those PCs 30-day notice of what to expect come March 1st. Well, they're still working out the details. You mean what they're working on is making sure how many people that are not on their side won't show up by giving them a last-minute invitation. Mm-hmm. Do you know that on the spreadsheet too, what I'm being told, because some people are looking at it with snips and glips of things like it's just very weird how they're doing this. Like, he turned in one and then he replaced it with another one. Well, here's the thing. He's got wrong addresses on there. So you know where he's going with that. Hey, Cheryl, you're a PC. I put your address on there. Oh, you didn't get an invitation. You missed it. Oh, I had your numbers transposed. This is the game playing that goes on in Madison County with these guys. I'm telling you. So that's going on too. Oh, Purdue won 81-76. There you go, Kevin, right there. Pulled it out. So must have been a great game. But that's what I want you to understand. Here you are on a front page. You have the opportunity to meet all your PCs and their vice PCs. Nope. Nothing in there about the date, the time, the location. And how we've been able to find out is, as these people are watching his page, he's putting it on his social media. So I don't know if you can show those other two pages that I sent to you on that clip. Right there is something that Russ posted that somebody had sent to me as a screenshot. Actually, 5 people sent it to me as a screenshot. That's how funny it was. I was getting it all at once. And I was like, holy cow, what's going on? And it was like a Saturday, I think. And then the other picture is the vice PCs that we took. So right there. Yeah. And we'll give you details if he's got your address correct. So that's what he put up. And then the next page is the compiled list of the PCs. The vice PCs are not on there because this is just what we got from the election results. So then you can go in there and you can figure out, who belongs to you. And then you'd have to ask that PC who their vice is. So these are people who actually won elections, and hopefully we've got enough people to take Russ out. Like out of the Republican Party, people, nothing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, for heaven's sakes, everybody knows I'm not a violent person. So that kind of shows you what's going on there. So now that's enough on Kelly. She's wasting my oxygen. So now I want to talk about this post. I'm going to send this to you. This is the big news. So we're going to find out what the word expeditiously means in Madison County. Okay. I want everybody to know that on Wednesday, I went down to file this complaint against against Ben Gale. The motive is that since nobody wants to actually do the right thing and charge Russ Willis with actual election crimes, which are offenses that he should be charged with, I'm just going to go one by one on all the mistakes I've found in the finances, and I'm just going to start turning things in one by one. So this may be the last person that Russ will ever be able to throw a lifesaver to is Ben Gale. Because if Kelly and Ben, when they do not take those seats, there's more to come for these people. And I'm not the only one filing. There's other people in this chat that are holding on to file claims once Russ is out of his seat. The one thing this party is showing the community, it is showing you corruption. It's showing you how the friends and families benefits package. If nothing else, we get to see how dirty the prosecutor is, how dirty the elected clerk is, Linda Smith. We get to see how dirty the Democrat Party, Tim, I never can get his name right, is. So we get to show you everybody's true colors through this process. So this is Russ when he was swearing in Ben Gale to be a councilman. These people take these oaths. I mean, like we're telling you, he's supposed to be upholding the law.
And Russ should not be swearing him in.
Oh,
Russ is nobody.
This is what he did at the Corners Caucus. He's up there swearing Adam Madison in right then and there. I mean, he's doing it with everybody there.
And that is definitely not right because Ben Gale's a jail, but corner is a constitutional position. Yes. They should be sworn in by a circuit court judge, or the clerk can swear them in. The mayor can swear people in the city. The clerk can do it. But Russ Willis is nobody. That's nuts.
No, this is how illegal this stuff is. And maybe they do it like this so that when they do get prosecuted, they say, well, Russ swore us in, so we were really never officially in that seat.
Yeah.
Right? So Ben has violated Indiana Code 3-9-1-18. Where a treasurer of one committee may be the treasurer of another committee unless the treasurer is a candidate. So I don't know how they're going to swing this, how they're going to try to manipulate this law. But I think what's even more atrocious is who Ben was the treasurer for.
Yeah.
Ben was treasurer for an attorney who was seeking a seat. You would think the attorney would know what the rules are.
Oh, shit. No.
So this is going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with Ben Gale. And And I really don't know how he's actually going to be able to get through the meeting without holding a gavel and me being in the same room.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I have no idea how this is going to take place. So I just want, and Chris can probably, you know, show you some of the documents, because I gave those documents to, do you have those? You can click on that blue link and it'll come up.
Yeah, I've got it up here.
So I'll let you go through the filing.
So basically, this is a 30-page document that you've got this posted on your social media, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so she filed this on Wednesday. This is Katherine Callahan, January 29, 2025, Madison County Election Board. Election complaint regarding Benjamin, which I've always hated that name, Aaron Gale, Madison County Election Board. Please consider this my official complaint against Benjamin Aaron Gale. Upon reviewing campaign finance filings, I became aware Mr. Gale served as the treasurer of more than one committee. As the election board is aware, Indiana Code 39118 provides an individual may be a treasurer for more than one campaign finance committee unless the person is a candidate. So if I'm out here running around and Katherine asks me to be a treasurer and Kate asks me to be a treasurer, I can legally do that. What I can't do is I can't be a candidate for office myself, where I'm the treasurer of my own team, and be a treasurer for Katherine. I cannot do that in the law. The law's clear. Okay, so you can do this for more than one. An individual may be a treasurer for more than one campaign finance committee unless the person is a candidate, who may then only be the treasurer of their own candidate committee. Now, you don't have to be, but you can be. But what you cannot do is you cannot be your candidate and then be a treasurer for someone else. Elect Ben Gale was the name of the candidate committee for Benjamin Aaron Gale. Benjamin Aaron Gale served as the chairperson and treasurer of Elect Ben Gale, of Evan for Indiana as the candidate committee for Evan McMullen. Benjamin Aaron Gale served as treasurer of Evan for Indiana. On January 17th, 2023, Benjamin Aaron Gale filed an annual candidate CFA 4 for the Elect Ben Gale committee. The CFA filing reflects Gale is the candidate and treasurer, Exhibit A. On January 15th, 2025, Gale filed a candidate final disbands committee CFA 4 for the Elect Gale committee. The CFA filing reflects Gale, the candidate, as the treasurer, Exhibit B. On February 3rd, 2022, McMullen filed a candidate statement of political organization and designation of the principal committee or exploratory CFA 1 for Evan of Indiana. The CFA filing reflects Ben Gale was appointed treasurer pursuant to IC 39114, Exhibit C. On the April 2022, Evan McMullen and Gale filed supplemental large contribution reports by a candidate committee, CFA 11 for Evan of Indiana. The report is electronically signed by McMullen and Gale, Exhibit D. On April 27th, 2022, McMullen and Gale filed the supplemental large contribution report by a candidate committee, CFA 11 for Evan of Indiana. The report is electronically signed by both of them, Exhibit E. On January 17th, 2023, Evan and Gale filed annual CFA 4 for Indiana, Evan of Indiana. The report is electronically signed, Exhibit F. On January 17th, 2024, they again did the same thing. On the January 15th, 2025, they did the same thing. And then Ben Gale served as the treasurer of Evan for Indiana during the same time Gale served as the chair and treasurer of his own candidate committee, Elect Ben Gale. IC code 39118 provides a treasurer of one committee may be the treasurer of another committee unless the treasurer is a candidate. Okay. Gale signed or otherwise attested on all forms to meeting the statutory requirements to serve as treasurer under the penalties of perjury. During the time Gale served as the treasurer for Evan of Indiana, Gale served as the treasurer for his own candidate committee in Madison County. Elect Ben Gale filed a CAN form and a CFA form locally in Madison County. Sincerely, Katherine Callahan. Okay, then we see the exhibits. So you see that, you know, she's not just smoke and mirrors. These are the actual public documents that were provided to the circuit court clerk, to the election board, and to the election room, to the people that need to be filed with. So Katherine requested these and then obviously turned these in. And so this is, you know, again, like Russ Willis, this to me is an open and shut case. There's no way around this. Ben Gale is and should be in trouble.
Okay, now I'm going to give you some predictions here, how this is going to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Here's a prediction. Linda's going to get up there and she's going to say, I called the state and the state said, it doesn't matter what the law said.
That's a really good impersonation.
But as long as she calls and gets verbal consent, that's the law. This is how she rolls. So I just want you to know that's going to be Linda's side note. And then I don't know what Tim's going to do. You can barely hear Tim. I'm not even sure Tim wants to be there. He looks like it's a very painful process for him because he really has to think on how he can spin the words to his advantage in order to protect Republicans, which is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, dude, it's like, did you forget you're a Democrat? Like,
that was the best thing. They should have this done before Kelly's thing to have the caucus, so that everybody can fully see on display how corrupt she is.
Yeah.
She is about the same. Her and Linda, I think, are in a tie for each other.
What's up?
That gives you any idea?
I was just wondering what the penalty for this is.
Well,
is this a misdemeanor? Is this a felony? Is this a fine?
No.
I mean,
no, it's a fine. It's a yeah. So
I mean, Russ is going to pay it with the Republican Party money. I'm just sitting here, you know.
So
it just shows you nobody's paying attention. It shows you that Olivia Pratt was incompetent as the clerk, because this is back during Olivia's time. It shows you how completely incompetent Linda is as the clerk. And you know what we were told? This is what was said. Now, Katherine,
where'd she go?
We only know the law when somebody brings it to our attention. We can't possibly keep up with all those codes. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? This is, they are literally taking these pieces of papers, these documents in, and they don't even know how to look at them. I mean, this is just craziness, Madison County. We should not expect more from our elected officials. We should demand more from our elected officials.
That would be a great excuse for cops to be able to use.
Yeah, right.
You can't expect me to know that I had to arrest them. Like, I'm supposed to keep up with all the laws.
And clearly
it's my job to, enforce them.
Yeah, clearly we're aware that they don't read the law. And even when they get a complaint, they don't read the law, because Linda will say, well, I just called down to the state and they said X, Y, and Z. You know what, Linda, why don't you show up with the piece of papers and the actual notations that you've actually done some work?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the whole thing. And when she looks and says, if Dr. Callahan could read, well, you're going to find out just how well Dr. Callahan can read. And on top of it, you're going to find out how well she can research too. So this is the thing with it'll be interesting how Ben presents how
well before we get into any more of that, I think we need to go through a little bit of like the filing process of we need to talk about like what it was like when you went up to do this, because really this should be like, they should be happy. I mean, they're not happy anytime they see like any of us coming, but they should be happy that people are bringing this stuff to their attention. And so what happened when you went up there on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, so I went up there on Wednesday to do this about 3:00. And there is just no other way that this audience that I can give you an idea of what it was like. I get up there and the door is shut and locked. So I knock on the election door. Heather literally comes out and she's got the door behind her shut. She pulls it shut. Like she squeezes out. I mean, like I've just caught her in some act in that room. And she's hiding some man behind the door.
I'd like to know what the deal is with that. That's so weird.
Right? I mean, it's the strangest thing I've ever seen. And I said, "Hi, Heather. I'm here to file a complaint." And she goes, "Well, you can't come in this room." I said, "So you want to do it out here in the hallway?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "So you want to I mean, this would deter a lot of people to go file complaints because you don't know who's in the hallway. There's no privacy to it. I mean, it's a very sad state of affairs for the community. Very sad.
So what did she tell? I mean, did you question her on that? What did she say to you?
Well, it's a safety issue. It has nothing to do with you, but it's a safety issue because it's a safety issue. But again, it has nothing to do with you. She must have told me 3 times it had nothing to do with me, but it's a safety issue. Well, you know what? It's a bigger safety issue to stand out in this hallway with all these elected officials running all around out here that you're in here trying to do a complaint. I mean, it's the craziest thing. We have tons of sheriffs over there.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I mean, this is a female to a female, and you're worried about some safety issue inside your room? I mean, this is just craziness. I've been through the lie detector. I've been through the detector.
Yeah.
I've had to empty out all my pockets. I have to take off my watch. I have to take off my belt. I have to do all these things in order to even get up there. And you're telling me that you seriously have a safety concern? I don't want anybody in that building. I mean, this is just crazy. So finally she goes, "Well, I guess we could go around the corner here to one of these rooms." And that's where like Linda's office is and all those clerks' offices are. So we go in there and I sign in and I'm like, "So now you want to stand in this room where all your people are?" "Well, that's great. I feel like it's a 10 against 1. Now I feel real confident as a citizen being in there with all these, employees that want to protect Linda." And believe me, they do. They get on social media and have all kinds of strange things, right? So see here, Tim Funk saying she let me in when I went inside. Ollie Dixon was in there also. I mean,
I've always went inside there.
Yeah, no, it's a big deal. And they've got this sign up there, no one passed this, whatever. I mean, I thought
I think you misread the sign, Catherine. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say no one beyond this point. I think it pretty sure says no Catherine beyond this point.
Hold on. I got it. Hold on.
Oh, you have photographic proof? Oh, that's fantastic.
So then we go over to this side room, right? And we're in there. Well, she shuts the door there. Well, how are we safe in this room, but we're not safe in your room? You have a window in your room too. This is just craziness to me. Okay. So then we get over to that room and I'm like showing her what I want to file and what I'm doing. And she's just like, "Okay, well, we don't really know much about it. I'm just low man on the totem pole. I just take the complaint. And that's all I do." Okay. Well, Heather, you've been there long enough. You got to start getting a little bit better answer than your low man on the totem pole. You don't know that this is only your little bucket that you have to be responsible for. So as we're sitting in this conference room where they eat their lunches and they all have their coats and stuff, I mean, that'll be the next thing. They're going to accuse somebody of stealing their coats and stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Linda just remodeled that whole thing. There should be an area where people can come in and ask confidential questions. She just did a whole remodel up there. The taxpayer paid for it. I paid for this.
Wait, I got to ask you. I think I know the answer, but I hope I'm wrong. What? Is this offensive? What kind of Asian are you?
Really?
You're Japanese, right?
I am a Japper. I am Japanese.
God, I wasn't going to say
Irish.
That. Well, so this was going to be funny.
Japanese Irish, but I was born in Kansas.
Right. In my mind, I remember seeing this movie when I was like 15. So in my mind, it said Asians. But then when I just quickly went to it, it didn't. And I was hoping that you weren't, but might as well go ahead and put it up here just so we get the yuck out of it anyways. Here we go. This is kind of what it was like when Catherine went up to the clerk's.
It was bad.
This is what it was like. I don't know if anyone's going to know.
I mean, you would have thought I had the plague.
This is what it was like.
The quarantine for COVID, the quarantine is as long as you don't have a fever for 24 hours without supportive care, meaning Tylenol or ibuprofen, you can be in the public as long as you wear a mask for a total of 10 days.
All right, here we go. This is Catherine going to... No dogs, no Chinese allowed.
It's about the same.
Yeah, all right. It's
about the same thing. I think I'm the only Asian that's ever been turned away up there that I can't go in a room. I will say that. Because I think Miss Grooms goes up there and she's allowed in a room.
Well, yeah. That's true.
You know, I mean, come on now. I don't understand. But yeah, so
ridiculous.
So we're in this room, everybody. It gets more comical the longer I'm up there. So we go in the room and she has to look because I bring 2 copies. See, I should only bring 1 copy and make her copy it 1 page and use their own money. But no, I'm nice enough that I bring 2 copies. So she's like, so you want both of these stamped? Yeah. So she has to leave the room and go somewhere else to stamp them in her room. I mean, this is just so ineffective. So I'm standing in there and I'm waiting and she comes back. And then after she's already stamped and then she starts looking through them to make sure I didn't put different pages in hers than I did in mine. So then I say to her, can I get a copy of Linda's certification? And she said, what? I said, Linda has to be certified by the state. She said, I don't know what you're referring to. I said, when I became coroner, I had a year to get my certification done. I mean, and it should be on file. And I said, I looked it up on the state website and her certification is not on file. So can I get a copy of that? Now they should produce that on demand, honestly. So she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So she goes and gets Lori. Now, everybody knows Lori. She's got the long, dark hair. She's always walking around with a clipboard wanting you to sign in when you go to those meetings. So Lori says to me, I don't know what you're talking about. So I have to repeat myself. When I was coroner, I get it for certified estate, blah, 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 blah. And she said, well, that should be on file at the recorder's office. I said, no, that should be on file at the state office. And so she says, I don't know what you're talking about. But now originally Heather went to get Linda, but Linda was on the phone, supposedly. So if Linda doesn't want to meet with somebody, she's either on the phone, she's away from her desk, or she's just plain not at work. Usually she's just not at work. So I'm sitting there and now Lori's like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So then Heather goes, well, so I said, can I fill out a records request for it then, since neither one can get this for me? I said, yeah, you can fill out the records request. They said, but you're going to be charged for this. I said, charged for this? I said, if Linda would have the certification up on the state site, I wouldn't be getting charged for this. And they're like, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't charge you for it. Okay, well, here it is Friday night, and I still don't have a copy.
You don't
of
pay in
certification.
Advance, do you? When you do record
no,
requests?
No, but she's letting me know that when they fulfill it. Well, how hard is this to fulfill? Either you've got the certification or you're not. I mean, if any of you walked into my office and said, I want to see your DEA license, guess what? I got it right there. If you said, I want to see your nursing license, I got it right there. There wouldn't be, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't find the thing. I mean, this is how corrupt all of it is. So here's the thing. Is Linda certified or not? Todd Culp's another one. He's supposed to be certified. His isn't. I can't find people's state certification. There's a website you can go to find them. They're not up there unless they put it up there here in the last 24 hours. So I just kind of want to let you people know this is the runaround you consistently get. And if Kelly Hewer's in that position, it's going to be no different.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So Linda Smith needs to go. She needs to just resign. She's so incompetent. It's not even funny. And then clearly look at her staff. Nobody knows what's going on. You know why? Because you're only as good as your weakest employee. And their weakest employee is
the leader. That's ridiculous.
I can tell you this. You are not going to walk into my office where I don't know what the answer is, or I can't find you the answer very quickly. And that's because that's how it rolls in my office. And my staff is just as qualified and competent. So I know we've talked about a lot of information tonight. I know we went through this while we were going through an exciting basketball game. There you go, Kevin. Purdue won. And so I just want you to know that people go hold people accountable. Call them on it. Hey, listen, people get tired of hearing from just Katherine. Go out there. I mean, if you want to file something, reach out to me. This takes a lot of manpower and time to fill out these forms and get them all organized. I mean, thank you to Sean Smith for all his unwavering help. Thank you to Lisa Rinker. Thank you to John Ackerman. Thank you to Laureen White. Thank you to all these people who, if they don't know the answer, they can at least guide you to a different one. But none of them say, I'm not helping you. You can't come in my room. You can't be on my Facebook page. You can't message me. This is what we want from people. It is time for change. There is certainly, a chance for new leadership on tap, but there is nothing new about Kelly Hewer and Russ Willis's corruption. We've got to be sick of it by now.
I would think
this is torture.
Yeah.
This is torture, people. You watch Russ Willis, send out emails applauding that you throw bodies in a beer cooler. You watch Russ Willis destroy his own Republican people who won seats without his help. Look at what he does to Sheriff Beeman for money. Because Beeman beat his boy Emery, he makes Sheriff Beeman beg for overtime money. I mean, there's no reason for that. That office works 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, holidays, weekends, and everything. You need to empower your police officers. Instead, what does he do? He refused to give raises. Him and Ben Gale told the sheriffs all along they would get raises, and then they didn't give them the raises. Because why? He wants to do what he can to make sure that that Beeman is so flustered that he just gives up like Troy did. I got news for you. I don't think Beeman's going to give up. He's not made like that.
Yeah.
So, I'm just telling the people, please come out to these meetings. The next one is February 11th. Again, 6 figures. 6 figures on Tuesday, February 11th at the county council meeting of blank check money.
You guys already have the agenda out?
I just have the finances of what they're asking. I don't know what's going to be on the agenda, but they published it in the paper. Again, other services and charges. What does that mean? other services and charges. The people deserve better. They deserve itemization. They deserve to know where this money is going. And the reason why this isn't Catherine that's sitting over in the corner and Catherine's just trying to find things to say or pick on. There was a special audit done by the State Board of Accounts that was called by Darlene Likens, Diana Likens, John Richwine, Rick Gardner, Olivia Pratt, Ben Gale, Anthony Emery, Rob Steele. The inner circle wanted a private audit on me in the coroner's office. They said that I did not have a conflict of interest on file at the state level. Well, I turned it in at the recorder's office. Okay. I have it stamped that I had a conflict of interest in. Who was in charge of the recorder's office at that time? The incompetent Linda Smith. I turned this in to Linda Smith. Oh, no, that's not her responsibility to put that at the state site. It's my responsibility to do that. All she has to do is take care of the recorder's office. Well, don't you think you should tell me that I need to put that on there? We are brand new elected officials. We have no idea. And so
that's their responsibility to turn that in.
I would think it was their responsibility too. So this is how crazy it is. All I'm doing is everything they have called me on, I'm just turning around and returning the favor.
What was your conflict of interest?
So back when COVID was going on, the incompetent Stephanie Mellinger could not keep COVID swabs in the county in stock. But Right Family Practice never ran out of swabs, ever. I always had about 1,000 swabs on tap at all times. I was the only one in the county for quite some time, probably 6 to 10 months, that had an immediate reader in our office. So like I was getting business from all over because I was the only one who had one and people had to fly and do stuff. So in 2020, when we were running for election, I picked up a lot of people because we had the machine. So the county would send people over because they couldn't go get the free swab at the health department because she would always run out. And then Mellinger would say, well, Catherine, she just wants your money. No, Stephanie, I tell them to go to the health department. They call you. You don't have supplies in. So what happens? They have to come over to me. I'm a business. I am for profit. Yes, I'm going to charge. So unless you have insurance, right? So I was doing the swabs. So then that was in 2020. I did swabs in November of 2020. We were not in the elected seat. We were not being paid by the county. Okay. I turned my bill in like at the end of November, early December. But because we don't meet in December, I got paid in January. So I got paid in January. And so now we're employed by the county because we're in there in January, right? So now they say to me that we have a conflict of interest. Wait a minute here. I never did any services after 2021 for the county. So I didn't even need to have a conflict of interest on hand. But you know why I had one in? Because somebody called me and said, they're coming after you any way they can. You better get a conflict of interest in. And sure enough, they did that. The other thing they did is they had this big ordeal about, driving the vehicle out of the county. I don't know about you people, but you see the forensic lab for the state is down on 16th Street, down by Methodist Hospital. Yeah. I'm not driving my vehicle with smelly bones in my car, and it smells. You have to drive with the windows down the whole way and take all that decay down there for DNA testing. And then, you can't drive it. What are you talking about? The health department's got people driving out of the county every single day that doesn't live in the county, and they're employed. Who's paying for those oil changes? Who's paying for that gas? Who's paying for the wear and tear in those cars? It's the taxpayers. People need to show up at that council meeting every time Mellinger's asking for money, asking her, well, how many cars are we repairing? How many cars are we fueling? What's our tax dollars being used for? How many tires are we buying? This is the reality of it. If you're in this inner circle, they'll continue to cover up everything. Well, the gig is up. Just like when I went up there and the commissioner said, we have $100,000 in unpaid bills. That is illegal. That is a Class B misdemeanor. It's illegal.
Yeah.
The commissioner's office should be in jail. And the reason why I know is because Ted Nolting sent me a threatening letter saying because we did too many autopsies, more than what we had budgeted for, that I spent without appropriation for autopsies. Well, here's the thing, people. If I don't do the autopsies and I wait every month till we come, then I'm going to be holding on to the body for 6 to 8 weeks. The body's decaying because I can't get an autopsy on it. You can't do that. And oh, by the way, newsflash, Linda, I've read Indiana Code for Coroners, and it says we can spend as much money as we need to complete death investigations, and that the county shall give us the money to complete death investigations. So when I shot that Indiana Code back to the attorney, well, nobody had anything to say about that.
Well, yeah, right. Isn't that weird?
So this is what I'm telling the community. Be involved. Question these people. Today, I've taken several hits on social media. It has been a day I've never seen before. But you know what?
Wow, I saw some of that. What's the deal?
Well, I don't know what the deal was. It was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. So I opened Messenger, and I don't know who these people are. And so this person gets on, and I'm not going to say I'm going to read the whole thing to you guys. I actually had to file a police report today. That's how crazy this was.
Yeah.
Katherine does not like to file police reports. I don't like to bother them, right?
Yeah.
This says, keep it up and you can get some harassment charges. Are you at Right Family Practice today? Just might have to pay you a friendly office visit. I said, I'm sorry. Do I know you? I said, let's be crystal clear. You came onto my post, not the other way around. So do not harass me. He goes, fuck off, ugly bitch. Leave me alone. Listen, this guy messaged me. I had to accept the message. I said, police report filed. Thank you. Okay. I'm ending this conversation. He told me to leave him alone. Laughing my fucking ass off. Police report? ? Way to waste their time. Get over yourself. I'm thinking, I don't know. That's a pretty threatening, like you're going to show up at my practice, right? So about 2.5, 3 hours later, there's someone on this thread today. I don't know if he's still on here. He literally figures out this guy and posts like the hospital that employs this guy. So a couple hours later, I get, look, I apologize for what I said. I'm frankly just tired of your repeated posts. I will leave you alone and remove myself from these groups so I don't have to see them. People, if you don't want to read what we have to put, just scroll to another post. Go watch a reel. Stick your head in the sand. Continue to pay outrageous taxes. Continue not to be able to put food on the table because you have to decide, do I pay my property tax and keep my home, or do I feed my kids? I don't know. Okay. I'm just trying to show you that this is corrupt. I could go on with my life and never look at this stuff again, and I'm going to be okay. But this isn't right. This is wrong. How Jamie's been treated, how Russ has been able to run amok, how they have been able to continue to violate our rights and not let us speak at public meetings. I've had enough, and I will take no more from these people. So that is why I'm at this. And you know what? I am sick and disgusted that we are still putting bodies in a beer cooler when I see the health department build a $900,000 pole barn for a $500,000 IV or RV, and that's it. No, $1.4 million for something like that, and you can't get it.
You say IV?
IV, yeah. Appropriate morgue. That's about what healthcare is costing these days. This is ridiculous. We don't even have a place in this county to take someone for them to see their deceased loved ones. And then we're the bad guys when we leave the scene and we can't show the family anything until they get to the funeral home. I mean, that's the harsh reality to all of this, people. And I just want you to know all I can do is try. I hope we're close to the finish line. I really do. And I hope that we bring home a win for the people. And that's my soapbox for tonight, Friday night, January 31st, as we end January. And I hope for greater things moving into February. But I think things are going to get a lot more crazier.
They are.
I think a lot more people are digging. A lot more people are listening. A lot more people are reading. A lot more people are understanding they have rights. And there is power in numbers.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It has to get better because it can't get much worse.
I don't know. Every time I think that, it gets worse. I mean, it's just like this guy. I'm like, what on earth is this? I mean, I didn't call his name out.
Here's the thing. And listen, it's different being a man to a woman. Like that's nuts. I have a thing. I'll let anybody say anything they want about me that they want. And very little do I ever engage. Sometime if I'm bored, if I'm feeling a little froggy, I might get back on and get mouthy with somebody. I recently, while we're at it, let's talk about this. Hold on. Stay right there. I got something for you. Give me 1 second.
Please tell me that people aren't messaging you about me.
Talk amongst yourselves. Oh no, hold on.
Well, if you do want to carry, I know a guy.
Listen, I have a gun permit. Okay. But right now, this is what I carry right here. My mouth is what I carry. That's what I carry. That's about as dangerous as I am, people. But I want people to understand that generally the people who are around me carry. I will tell you that if you see me with somebody, they're probably carrying because they're worried about my safety. And what I
you need to carry yourself.
Well, if people
if you're not comfortable with a gun, I'm sorry.
Oh, listen, I have an artillery. I have an artillery of guns. If people saw the gun collection I have, they're like, holy cow. So I have all the resources. Oh, and Sarge has been all over me about carrying a gun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's important.
Oh, so he's back with what he had to share. So I'll go.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah.
What do you have?
So here's a letter address that got sent to me. I'm so happy. God is a mysterious God. And I'm telling you, it just so happened I needed to go to the BMV and have proof of address stuff. And I just didn't happen to have what I needed address wise. And then this got sent to me.
It looks like a Madison County envelope.
It's not Madison County. It's state of Indiana.
Oh, okay.
State of Indiana. And this was addressed to me.
Thank you, Tim. I know you love my voice.
Right here it says, I want to show everybody this. This is disciplinary commission.
Oh.
And it's got this letter here. It says, Christopher H. Bilbrey, submission of attorney grievance 2025-10-16. Dear Christopher Bilbrey, this office is in receipt of your grievance. It will be reviewed by a staff attorney. The investigation process is confidential. Therefore, the staff is very limited in its ability to communicate with you while the investigation is ongoing. Further communication from this office will occur if more information is needed and once the investigation is complete. Thank you for presenting this to our agency for consideration. If you believe that you have other legal remedies, malpractice, insurance claims, lawsuit, fee refund, you must pursue those actions independently from this investigation. This agency only sanctions lawyers' license and does not serve as a form of resolving legal disputes with lawyers. So, back during the last election, I was extremely vocal about just an absolute horrible piss poor judge, Judge Kimberly Dowling, and I spoke against her, brought up her rulings and actions that she had taken that was very, in my opinion, dangerous for the citizens of Delaware County. She just recently let out a convicted murderer, and not just any murderer, but a murderer who beat a man in the head with a hammer like 45 times, stabbed him 48 times, just did all kinds of things to him. It was just horrible. And while he was doing it, was saying that it wasn't like he got in a blind rage. He said he was killing for Satan. He was killing this man because apparently he was gay. Just really crazy stuff. And so this judge just let this person out. And so I thought this was crazy. She had a political opponent, Andrew Ramirez. I was very pro Ramirez. And I, with a lot of other people, pushed him forward, and he won. That's what happens in politics. The former judge packed her shit and hit the road, and I planned to never speak on her again, never talk about her again. And then several weeks after the first of the year, like just here, well, it was actually happening during the election, but then once the election was over, I was like, okay, this has to stop. Her husband, who's also an attorney, Ralph Dowling, has proceeded to like stalk me all over social media. When I post about things, he's an attorney too. Yeah, Ralph Dowling. And even when I'm posting things like about like my brother in Italy, things that are not politically engaged in any way, definitely nothing that is politically relevant to a race that's over. He has just proceeded to go forward and go forward and go forward. And so I thought, all right, I've had enough. Normally I wouldn't do something like that, but he got me the last time he posted. He got me on a day when I was feeling a little froggy, and I was like, ding, let's turn this guy in. So I submitted it to him. I don't know what'll happen. We'll see what'll happen. We'll see what happens. But here's my rule. I generally don't care, because here's what people say. Well, you shouldn't complain because you say all the stuff about other people. They are public servants. They put themselves in that limelight. And I routinely say, if somebody doesn't want to face the scrutiny, then all they need to do is resign, and I will never mention them again. I will never mention them past that point. Now, I might talk about something they did as an elected official, but that's just historically relevant. But I won't talk about them after the resignation. Matter of fact, I would pat somebody on the back if they say, you know what, I can't take it anymore. I would respect a person who did that. That would give me a little bit of respect for that person. No one ever does that. So that's what I always say that. I don't have problems when people come after me, because I had an attorney one time tell me, and it's hard to think about this way, but you're a public figure. You put yourself out here. You right there, Catherine, or put yourself out there. You are, for example, and this is something maybe you don't know, but if people started saying things about you that were slanderous because of your activism and because of what you do, it would now be harder for you to sue someone for slander or libel, because you have put yourself out here. I routinely tell people that I'm a political commentator. We have a program we go on nightly that has kicked us into a little bit of a different section of life where, if someone just wants to open up and go crazy, they have a First Amendment right, the same. And we're not the same as public officials, but it's different than just somebody minding their business. So I don't ever care. But when someone's getting violent, I don't really put
a lot of thought into this, like this text. It's not something I would do. Sure. But I'm like, so I got advice from someone, and they're like, oh no, you got to just put his name in. I'm like, you got to do something.
100, and that's what that's what I'm getting at. Because most people just say stupid shit, whatever, and it's whatever. But when you've got someone who's saying, they're going to, because you got to think, you've also got people that work for you that you're responsible for. So it's not even like this guy's saying, I'm going to come to your house. You should definitely file a complaint on that too. But now you got patients, you've got people who are working for you that you are responsible for. So yeah, you definitely had to file a report and do everything there. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten text messages with people telling me, I'm going to kill you. We're going to kill you. You're going to be killed. We're going to, it would be very easy. We know you go to the city council meetings every Monday, first Monday of the month. You know how easy it would be to pick you, to clip you coming out of a meeting. I've been told all that. Do you know that people have filed formal complaints at City Hall because they have overheard police officers talking about killing me? There were 2 police officers overheard in a victim's advocate one time talking about how I wouldn't be around in 6 months. So that's just kind of par for the course. I'm still here. That was like 2 years ago. Thank God. But it is what it is. But yeah, when people are obscene like that and crazy, and I think it is different for a man to a woman. And maybe people don't like hearing me say that, but I just think that's crazy. And so I'm glad that you file a report, and people like that need to be taught a lesson. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be prosecuted, but if something happens and you have to defend yourself, or someone has to defend you because of something happening, then there's a paper trail there. At the end of the day, it's all politics, man. Nothing should be that serious,
And like you've always said, this is a blood sport. This is like the Hunger Games, people.
It is.
You can call me Katniss. I don't care. But it's like the Hunger Games. And, at the end of the day, I know Candela Bastide watches these shows.
Yeah.
Because they kept putting my name in the paper in December and January, and I told them to knock it off. Well, now they've stopped doing it. But who else talks about them on social media more than me? Nobody.
Right.
I mean, if anybody reads that article, they're like, oh, it's Catherine, because Catherine's always talking about them. But, it is what it is. And, okay. Before we end this show, I got to tell everybody on this show something, okay? Now, listen, I got a call from the Herald Bulletin yesterday.
Oh?
And so this was pretty funny. So I hear my staff talking to the Herald Bulletin, and they're like, yeah, we'll have you back. So they come to me and they say, hey, the Herald Bulletin wants to talk to you. And I go, okay. And we just had the best of Madison County, right? And so they called, and I won 2 categories.
What?
I won 2 categories. So the first one, I came in second place for weight loss, which I don't really consider that we're a weight loss clinic. It's just good health. Like when my patients come to me, we just practice good health. So I don't even consider that. But what was so funny was we won in the healthcare facility category. Now, I want to tell you people what an extreme honor that is.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why this is an extreme honor. Healthcare facility means you're competing with some pretty big heavyweights. First place winner, Community Hospital Anderson.
Whoa.
I don't have that many employees. Okay. There are just 5 of us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay? That's first place. Second place, Ascension St. Vincent's Anderson.
Wow.
Third place, Little Wright Family Practice over here and Little Lapel.
That's
so
insane.
All the people who looked at that and voted for us, that is an honor within itself. I mean, I am truly forever grateful to everyone for that. But to say that we are good enough to come up like that, that's incredible.
That's really
and
crazy.
So there were lots of people in that category. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. But if anybody truly believes that Catherine is like out here enjoying this, that I'm trying to ruin somebody's life, I'm absolutely not. I'm actually trying to protect the people who don't have a voice.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do. This has nothing to do with anything but I was treated poorly, and I never want somebody to have to stand at that podium and be berated and disrespected the way that Ben Gale and their cronies have done to me. The fact that Russ Willis has looked at me when I was standing with two physicians, and he looked at both of them and said, I will never address you as doctors because this is a political thing and titles don't have anything to do with this. And both those doctors said, when Doc Bowen was governor, he went by Doc.
Yeah.
And the fact that Katherine has earned a doctorate's degree and we have earned a doctorate's degree, we have the right to that title.
Yeah.
And so, titles are earned. Educations are earned. It doesn't mean we're the smartest people in the room. It may just mean that we have a little bit more persistence in the avenues we want to take. But it is an earned degree, whether you think it's a good doctor, a bad doctor, a good professor, a bad professor. It's earned, and it should be respected. And so I just want to thank everybody who's out there. That was a big win for us. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to tell on social media or they didn't swear me to secrecy. It's not like I swore in to tell the truth like Russ does, and then Russ lies and perjures himself. So I'm okay with sharing it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody.
What's supposed to happen from here?
Oh, so of course they want you to buy something in the Herald Bulletin to put that. I guess we get a plaque or something that we can put on the wall, and so
sure. Yeah,
that's a great thing. So I really appreciate everybody. And, I really do have a pretty large practice. And so, that just tells you that we've got a lot of people out there. I can't make everybody happy. I'll never be able to make everybody happy, but I do always learn from the people that I don't make happy. And I also learn from the people I do make happy. So I just wanted to say that as we end on a positive note. Katherine does talk about positive things, but I could not do any of it without my amazing staff. And that's really what makes it all go into place. People often ask me, just so everybody knows, I am the owner of the practice. Dr. Wright's name is the namesake of the practice. Yeah. And what I want you to understand is there is a big age gap between Dr. Wright and I. But I always want to know how respectful I am of his name, for him being the right practice, for the right choice, for the right reasons, for all the right patients. And that's really what we're doing, right? So I just want people to know that, and it's a great thing. And hopefully if there's somebody out there that we can serve or we can do better with, let us know. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep moving forward. And we're hopefully going to make changes here in Madison County for everybody. There's a whole team working on this. All I am is the mouthpiece. That's it. But there are people giving me information. They're helping me. And believe me, not every day is an easy day, people. I do. Some of you people who are on here, you reach out to me at a great time, thanking me for something. And I appreciate that. So I appreciate people who come on to posts and speak their piece when they are not in agreement, So thank you to all you guys. But I just kind of want to end on that. We'll be back hopefully next week at some point to talk about more great things happening in Madison County with our elected officials.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just tell everybody, I've been looking off to this other computer and working. I've not been ignoring everybody, but I'm trying to, I'm just finishing up here on the list for the state representatives, for the people that want to send the emails out to the state representatives. I have the full complete email list for both the state representatives and the state senators now. And so if anybody ever wants that, let me know. I can give that to you, but I'm going to start sending it out to the police officers that are in the process of trying to send this stuff to those people. But so that's what I've been doing.
And Stumblefoot, I just want you to know that if it's your right great toe, you might have gout. See, I actually can do medicine.
Yeah, right. What was the other category you want in?
Weight loss.
Weight loss and what? So what are the two categories?
Healthcare facility.
Okay.
And then weight loss. And then we were in the nurse category for our nurse, Christy Willis, who's absolutely amazing. So, but again, so we were in there. We were in female entrepreneur, because I am a female owner. We were in customer service and I think hometown hero. So we had several categories that we were in. That was, I looked at that. I didn't see anybody who was in 5 or 6 categories. That was incredible.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I'm really eager to see who got picked for the elected or government official. I can't wait. I hope Bethany Keller won in that one.
We don't know.
No, that hasn't come out yet. So I'll be interested. So, but yeah. So, well, thank you everybody how do you get rid of gout? Well, some say you can do vinegar, or some say you can do black cherry juice and all kinds
You don't truly get rid of it. You just make the symptoms go away, correct?
Yeah, you take allopurinol daily. That will help keep it at bay. I really only, here's the thing. You could change your whole diet. You could get rid of those, like sardines, all those purees. You could get rid of all that. Go to a plant-based, clean water diet. That may get rid of it. Beer and pizza are big culprits to gout. So staying away from those kind of things. So you could change your whole diet, lose weight, and do all that and get rid of gout. But if your diet's poor, you're sedentary, you don't drink a lot of water, you're probably going to have some issues with gout. But we got some great medicines to help with that. But boy, does it hurt. It is so painful. So just kind of letting you guys know all that. No GMOs coming soon from RFK. Will Frosted Flakes fix it? Well, you know what? Maybe if you mash it and you make a paste and you put it on there. No, I'm just kidding. I had to do it. You gave me the opportunity and I took the platform. Yeah. So anyways, but.
Well, very good. We appreciate it as always, and we'll see what goes on, I guess, next week.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and listening. I appreciate it.
Very next thing you'll have to keep posted on when we hear about a campaign election board meeting. Hopefully they won't drag it out, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So,
well, we've got a big caucus coming. So, but here's the thing. I think they're going to get this done really quick because they want to do it under Russ's leadership, because they're just not sure if he'll be having that seat or Kelly will have that seat. So I would imagine they're going to get it done in February. They're going to want to put this to bed really quick, but don't worry. Stay tuned, Madison County, because we'll have a lot more coming after this caucus is going to happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be crazy. So, all right. Well, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. We will not be here tomorrow night. That will be a night off. So thank God for that. And then
unless something catastrophic happens, that's always a possibility. So that's why you will want to go, and before you leave here, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, click the bell, and you only click the bell once. So you subscribe, and then you decide if click the bell to set up notifications. Do all of that. Give us the thumb. You can always give us the finger later. Share the show with everyone you know. And I don't know what Catherine's talking about. We don't have it coming. We always got a big caucus here at the Political Spotlight. So we will see you guys Sunday at 9 p.m. Take care. Have a great weekend. God bless. And we'll see you guys all later. Bye. See ya.